All right, today we're going to mix things up. We got the Air Jordan 4 White Cement 2025, one of the most iconic Jordans ever. And I'm not just reviewing it, I'm bringing you behind the scenes, raw and mic'd up, to show you exactly how I shoot this pair. So if you ever wondered how I go from fresh pickup to final photo, stay locked in. Let's jump in. First off, this is a certified classic. The white leather upper, crisp netting on the side panels, and the tongue. Cement gray speckles on the wings and the heel tab. And these black hits on the midsole and the wings. But beyond the look, it's the legacy. Fast forward to today, and 2025 version delivers a leather that is more premium, a toe box that is sharper, and the heel cut is dialed in. And finally, they brought back the Nike Air heel and not the Jumpman. But culturally, this pair has roots from Spike Lee's Mars Black Sun to Giancarlo Esposito, rocking them in Do the Right Thing. You know the scene where Bugging Out loses it over his fresh kicks getting scuffed? That moment stamped these into the culture even today. The White Cement 4 bridges generations. It's not just the nostalgia, it's the relevance. When it comes to styling, keep it simple. Light wash denim, cargos, or even crop pants. Let the sneakers be the loudest part of the fit. You don't need to overdo it. The shoe handles that for you. So you've got the story. You've got the details. Now I'm flipping the camera around and we're going raw, uncut, behind the scenes as I shoot this pair. Let's go. All right, so I got a little dilemma here. I set up this shot off camera, which we can consider your typical flat lay shot. Now I have the camera angled at like 45-degree angle, and it shows a lot of personality and depth with the shot, right? So this is what it looks like on camera. Don't get me wrong, I like it. I really, really do. But I also want a shot with it directly on from the top of the box. What I'm struggling with is sticking with this style of flat lay with the 45-degree angle, or just bringing the camera directly on top. So you know what I'm gonna do while I have you guys is that I'm gonna take both. I'm gonna take both angles. I'm gonna take this angle here that I feel shows a lot more, that has a lot more of a storytelling vibe and dimensions. And then I'm gonna move the C-stand with the camera and take the top down shot that way also. So we're gonna do both. I'm not gonna keep myself restricted to one angle. We'll shoot both angles and I'll pick the best. I'm gonna zoom that in a little bit. All right, so let's take this picture. All right, I focused on the toe. Take another one, move that there. Let's bring this in. So that hit more of the toe. I'm gonna catch the heel. Beautiful, good. And then we're gonna catch the box. Beautiful, that's 3 shots. We're gonna move this C-stand and set it up for that top-down shot that I wanted. I'm gonna see what that looks like and see what that feels like.
A few moments later.
All right, and we're back. We found a better positioning and framing for this top-down shot. Now, since I'm using a 90mm, everything is a lot closer, so framing everything becomes a little bit difficult. So I had to move the box lid, and this is what I was able to come up with. This is a completely different shot. I don't necessarily have to change the lace play. I can still keep it the same. It's just from a different perspective. So 2 different shots, same lace play. I could very well use both images and be fine, right? So we're gonna take the picture. I actually have to change my settings. I'm probably gonna move it to an 8.0, the f-stop, so I can bring out more detail out of this shot. There's not much that needed to change with the ISO, though I might bump it up a little. So I moved the ISO up to a 1250 Probably didn't need to do that, but I don't want it to be too underexposed, especially if it's a good shot. Love the way the lace play looks. All right, let's take this shot, and actually I still want to, but the shot is tight. I still want to stack these photos. I really do love the photo stacking technique. Ever since I worked with jewelry, I learned it. I'm not gonna stop using it, especially in product photography when it's not moving. I'm not affecting any light, casting any shadows. All right, let's do it. All right, let's take this shot. Bad shot, right? It's not a final destination moment. I'm gonna make this one a 3 shot. Good. We're gonna take one more, or maybe 2 more, because I don't want to lose the toe. Don't know if I am losing the toe. Boom, and we're gonna just pull the heel in. And we're gonna pull the heel in. Good. On to the next.
The next day.
All right, let's get into it. So I set up this shot. I usually try to give all my photographs a name. Let's call this one Suspended in Cement or Cemented in Air. Those will be either or. I'll let you guys pick, but this is what the shot looks like here. It's a beautiful, beautiful shot. 1/50, 2.8 f-stop, and then an ISO of 200. Now, as you guys know, I like to focus stack, but I usually focus stack at a higher f-stop. I try to bring out details of the sneaker, but sometimes that can make it look flat. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take full advantage of my 90mm G, Sony G OSS, and we're going to focus stack this at a 2.8 and see what happens. Because I usually like shooting at a higher f-stop, I am still going to take some shots at that higher f-stop of a 5.6, maybe a little lower, just as some emergency shots, some underexposed shots. But let's get to it. Let's take these pictures. So I allow the first shot to usually guide me on where I should go. But realistically, these are the places that I'm gonna focus on. We're gonna focus on the toe box. We're gonna hit the midfoot in the cage. We're gonna catch the heel tab. And we're most likely going to hit the tongue area and like the collar. So I do wanna make sure I don't lose the detail in the laces here though. So we'll make sure that I get that done, that I hit that area. I would want to add a little bit of light, but we'll leave it alone for right now. Let me actually see something before I fully commit to the shot. I'm gonna remove the egg crate here, because if I can get away with just soft boxing it and just adding more light, let's see what happens here. I like it, I'm not gonna lie to you. Let's take it, let me show you the image again. So that's what it looks like with the egg crate removed off. Clean shot, beautiful shot. I usually like playing with the shadows a lot, but we'll try this one. See what it looks like. All right, we're gonna take my picture. All right, let's take this shot. So it looks like it's focusing on the black midsole first, which is not terrible, but I usually let that guide me. I think we can consider that the netting shot if it's focusing on the midsole like that. So let's take the picture. Good. So we'll consider that the netting shot. I will move up towards the heel tab next for my next shot. Good. We're gonna move in to the tongue area, take a shot there. Good. Then we're gonna move into the toe area, which should bring in that lace aglet. I can't see that falling out of the scope of focus. Let's just take a shot of that actual lace just in case. All right, so the goal here is to, again, we're gonna take advantage of that 2.8 to create as much separation with the background and the sneaker, so the sneaker looks really crisp and it pops when I take this picture. So I don't think I've ever focus stacked at the lowest f-stop. So we're gonna see what this looks like. But to the heel, we're gonna see what that looks like. You guys let me know. On to the next one.
Moments later.
All right, we set up this little shot. I haven't done this shot in a while, So I decided to bring it back to show off those that Nike Air heel tab a bit. Pretty simple shot. Lace making its way out of the sneaker, trailing its way to the Nike Air. Let's get it done. Let's get this shot and move on to the next one. But before I do that, as you guys can see, I have a 1 1/4 pound weight plate with a stop motion arm, a clamp arm with a skinny acrylic rod. I have my other stop motion arm here with a flat pad with the M3 sticking pad that doesn't stick as much anymore. So I have some putty on there to help stick it to the shoe. That is now slightly rotating because I'm taking too long to take this shot. We have to get this thing stable, especially if I want to do exactly what I'm trying to do here, which is a nice, decent focus stack. If the sneaker can't sit still, it's going to shift too much and then ruin the shot a bit. Loose S. We don't want a crazy one, just a loose S. All right, let's take this shot. You know, I'm going to bring this bounce card in just to lie in that shadow. Stay right where I need you. Come on. Come on. Come on. The rotating of this shoe is driving me nuts. This balancing act is a pain. Let's see what that looks like. And that's a wrap. We covered the Air Jordan 4 white cement, the history, the fit, the shoot, and I brought you along for the ride, for the full ride. Now it's your turn. Hit the comments. Are you picking these up, doubling up, or passing? And let me know if you want more review meets BTS drops like this. Hit that like, smash that sub, and trust me, the next one is gonna be even crazier. Appreciate you for watching. See you in the next one.
Perfect.
And I'm out.